The very first thing I accomplished this year was beating a video game. My boy John and I beat a game called Earth Defense Force 2025. A beautiful, if a little lumpy game that's as fun as it is brainless. 80 plus levels of shoot giant bugs, blow up alien ships, knock down buildings. It took us a few months to beat the game because we're adults with jobs and tiny humans to keep alive. But on January 1st, 2025, we beat the final level. Man, did it feel good. I hadn't beaten a game in so long because, honestly, my affinity for gaming was on life support. Earth Defense Force 2025 came out in 2013, 12 years ago as I record this video. If you had told me 12 years ago that I would go 4 months without turning my Xbox on, I would slap you in the face because I'm in my 20s and I overreact to everything. But that's how it went. At the tail end of 2024, my Xbox was just a desk ornament. I had no reason to turn it on. My TV had all the apps that I would usually watch, and my phone and iPad made up for the slack if I felt like gaming. So what even happened? I got my first video game system in 1995. It was a used Sega Genesis that my dad got for me. I remember playing Road Rash and Rock and Roll Racing, which I didn't know was made by Blizzard before they were called Blizzard. But after my Sega, I got upgraded to the original PlayStation. This is where I was introduced to The Legend of Dragoon, my eventual favorite game of all time. It set the bar super high for me. But what caused me to genuinely dislike gaming for a bit? Where do I begin? Lately I've been doing a lot of other things with my time, but these companies have just been doing the exact same thing. Making these mid-ass games that drop every year. Like, I wish I could play the same game every year and be fine with it, but I can't. I need something to really jump out at me, and lately all these games just feel the same. They don't even try to hide it anymore. It's just extraction shooters, battle royale, hero shooters, a Counter-Strike clone. And don't even get me going on Madden, holy. And these studios aren't even trying anymore. You have Ubisoft actively circling the drain. You've got Bungie just openly stealing assets and leaving fucking loss in their game. Then these companies have the audacity to ship a half-baked game, which after you install, somehow has a 65 gigabyte day one update. Then once you get into the game, it's boom, give me real money for this costume. I know you just paid full price for this game, but you should give me some more. And does every game now need some sort of pop culture tie-in? Why the hell is Sabrina Carpenter hitting the fucking gritty with Peter Griffin? Like, what is life? It just really seems like lately these companies know that people are just gonna buy anything, so they just pump out the same schlock they pump out every year. The studios make record profits and then just fire everybody involved. Now, this is not a gaming channel, not even close, but channels like Game Ranks and The Act Man help me stay up to date on stuff. And dude, shit is bad. And that's why these two games stood out so much to me. This is my best friend Poolin. We've been homies since diapers, and we've been playing the games together for as long as I can remember. Me and Poolin are the type of dudes to rock shit co-op. The Gears franchise, any sports game. When Diablo 3 came out, we took a week off from our jobs just to hang out and grind the hell out of it. So when I first heard about Split Fiction, it definitely caught my eye a little bit. I know Split Fiction isn't the first co-op focused game to come out. You've got your Way Outs, your It Takes Two. And a few weeks ago, Poolin came over to my house and we actually tried out It Takes Two. Neither of us had ever played the game before. So all of these games were made by a company called Hazelight Studios, and this is really their bread and butter, is making a sick-ass co-op game. Another cool thing that they do is they have a thing called the Friend Pass, where only one person needs to buy the game and the other person can just install a free Friend Pass and you guys can both play the game together. Now, when we checked out It Takes Two, we had no idea what to expect. Neither of us had played a Hazelight game before, and we were unfamiliar with their level of ball. We only played It Takes Two for about 2 hours, but that was absolutely enough time for us to be interested enough to pick up Split Fiction. So we picked it up and just hoped that we weren't disappointed. Now, my only real complaint with this game is how generic the main bad guy is. I appreciate the other tie-ins to other games and stuff that they did in this. It was a fun idea, but it you just made the most generic bad guy in the world. But the gameplay immediately makes up for that. If you're unfamiliar with any Haze-like game, at least from the two that I've played, it seems like they're basically all action puzzler games. Action puzzlers with a massive focus on working together. Communication is absolutely key to these games. Hilariously, Poulin and I have been friends long enough where we would just sit quietly and fly through a part of the game knowing exactly what the other one was thinking. The story for the game is pretty interesting as well. You play as two authors, one writes sci-fi and one writes fantasy, and the company that you go to designs a machine where basically you get to go inside of the stories that you come up with, which is a cool idea, and that's actually where the levels in the game take place. It took us about 20 hours to beat the game, and it's super forgiving if you're the sort of, if I die too much, I don't want to play this game type person, because I'm that way. I found myself just flying off of cliffs, jumping into nowhere because there was no penalty for dying. And the only difference is when you're fighting a boss and you die, you just have to rapidly spam the Y button and then you come back. So hit up a homie and play this game. Poulin and I live the farthest apart in our friend group, and this was a super fun way to just stay connected. You also can't beat the value, $40. And only one of you needs it. Remember, the other person just needs to download the friend pass and boom, you've both got the game. This is how games were meant to be played, with your homies and baby dragons. Man, where do I even begin with this game? This game is so much more than just a game. Expedition 33 is like a holy experience, or what I imagine one is like. This is truly a special and important piece of artwork. And I think everybody needs to experience it in some sort of fashion. It feels redundant pounding the drum for this game because everywhere you look, it's being praised by everybody. But this is one of those rare times where when everybody's yelling about how awesome something is, it's actually that awesome. This game is proof that a small team of passionate people can create a genuinely moving experience. Everything about this game was 10 out of 10. Nothing felt neglected. There's always that one thing that you can point to in most games. The story didn't hold together, or the music was bland, or the characters were so boring I didn't care about them at all. This game is the complete and total opposite of that. Everything in this game had purpose, and it felt like the team poured everything they had into it. I cared about the characters, maybe a little too much. End of Act 1 was brutal. But this game had me wanting to do everything. I finished the story and I'm nowhere near done with this game. My buddy Patrick said it makes him feel like a kid playing video games again, and yeah, that's exactly how this felt. This game dethroned Legend of Dragoon as my favorite game of all time. I never thought I would say those words. Legend of Dragoon held that throne for over 20 years, but this game felt like what Legend of Dragoon would have been if they had released it today. I feel like I waited my whole life for this game. The world and the story are beautiful and original, and the music might be my favorite part of the entire experience. Lorien Testard absolutely shredded me during this experience, ripping my heart to pieces in the best way possible. I've never put a video game soundtrack on my phone before. I put the entire soundtrack for this game on my phone, probably day 3 of playing the game. There's a 100% chance when I get my replay at the end of the year, Lumiere is gonna be top 10, no questions. I sincerely can't say enough good things about this game. This game has to be Game of the Year everywhere. I can't see a game beating it. Even with just simple tweaks, this game stands out. In Legend of Dragoon, you still used your quick time style events, but in Expedition 33, they added a dodge parry mechanic where you're basically responsible for how the game turns out. It's not just dump a bunch of points into agility and hope that your guy gets out of the way of the 4-story axe that's about to crush the shit out of him. You're responsible for that. And you get a 20% experience boost for not taking any damage during the fight. This game will be added to the list of games that I beat every couple years. The first BioShock and Legend of Dragoon being the other 2 on that list. But Expedition 33 has absolutely earned its spot on that list. And another insane thing, this masterpiece isn't full price. I played it on Game Pass, but I fully intend on buying this game. And for this game to come out for $50, every other game company should be put on blast. Nintendo. Sell Nintendo for scrap. They're a children's company that makes children's games for children. And then give all the money to Sandfall so they can make another cool ass game. I beg you to play this game. I know a lot of people are turned off by, oh, it's turn-based combat. This game is so much more than that. This game is emotional. I haven't cried at a game this hard since Gears 3 when you know what happened. But this game just shattered me all over the place. And I think this game could shatter some other things as well. I know forcing change is hard, especially when there's so much money involved, but this has to be a kick to the face of the industry. We have two massive studios actively drowning in their own feces while 40 people in France crank out the sickest shit we've ever seen. It's a true showing that you don't need a budget larger than some country's GDP to make something. Ubisoft called Skull and Bones a quadruple A game, and now it's just a giant quadruple A nail in their coffin. These companies rake in more money than any other entertainment industry and then just fire everybody involved. I wanted to make games at one point. I went to school for it and everything, but the industry scared me off. I couldn't even imagine trying to break into that cesspool nowadays. While companies like Nintendo are trailblazing by selling you an $80 contract to play their games, you've got these small companies making stuff that makes me want to sprint to my Xbox. Which to me shows that people are ready for something better. Not just new, better, good, a finished product. So let's be smart with our money and demand a little bit more from these companies. And stop playing Fortnite in your 30s.